Right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Wednesday night. Another edition of KnicksFanTV Live presented by Manscaped. Off-season edition, free agency eve. And on tonight's show, just when we thought we had Jalen Brunson on his way to New York, not so fast. Because reports are out that the Miami Heat are making a last effort push, and that Brunson and his team will be meeting with the Heat, along with the Mavs and the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson's contract number might have been revealed. We're going to talk about that. Is Money Mitch getting ready to cash in with the orange and blue? And Dejounte Murray is off the trading block, getting traded to the Hawks. Did the Knicks drop the ball? I want to hear from you guys, man. Phone lines are up, 657-383-1509, or hit me up on the KnicksFanTV Discord. First and foremost, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. All right, back at it again. Getting the juices flowing. Free agency kicking off tomorrow. We are less than 24 hours away. What are the Knicks going to be doing? Well, I guess the cat has been out the bag because we know that that Jalen Brunson has long been their target since the trade deadline. And last night we thought that it was pretty much a done deal. You know, they shipped off Burks. They shipped off the Nerlens Wall to Detroit. They cleared the necessary cap space. But not so fast, because Chris Haynes of Yahoo Sports is reporting that the Miami Heat are a dark horse candidate to sign Jalen Brunson. So how are we feeling about this, man? Miami Heat, dark horse candidate. Brunson is granted meetings to the Mavs, the Knicks, and the Miami Heat. Now, personally, I think this is all a smokescreen. I think the Knicks are basically, trying to avoid tampering charges. They still may end up having to pay something. You never know. The Bulls had to pay something in the Lonzo in Chase. The Heat had to pay something in when they were courting Kyle Lowry. Those are two obvious destinations for both guys. We'll see how this plays out. Hopefully, Dolan doesn't have to, shell out anything, but you just never know. Seems like it's just, a matter of procedure, so that they can avoid any tampering charges. But we'll see. Because with Pat Riley, ladies and gentlemen, you just never know. I always say the Heat figure out a way. You can't trust that man. He built us, the orange and blue, to what we were in the 90s. He has the cachet. He's got the rings. Plenty of them. Remember when he courted LeBron, people said he couldn't do it until he dropped all the rings on the table. And Bron never left out of there without signing the contract. So you just never know, man. I'm sure the Heat are regretting the Lowry move. Like I told you, he was washed. So maybe Riley's trying to double back on that. But you just never know. Do not put anything past Pat Riley, because the Heat can figure out a way, man. So nevertheless, that is where we stand on the Brunson Watch. Heat, Mavs, Knicks all getting a meeting. We did hear yesterday from Chris Haynes that the Knicks are going to be all prepared to offer Brunson a deal within the range of 4 years and $110 million. Now, how they structure that deal could get interesting, because our guy Jeremy Cohen, the coincidence from Knicks Film School, has said that if the Knicks were able to somehow stagger the salary amounts each year so that they're decreasing each year, that would allow them to save some more salary on the salary cap, which is another solid thing. And if we're able to execute a sign and trade with Dallas through some sort of three-way combination between Dallas and Detroit, involving all the players in the contracts that we did get rid of, it would allow us to realize a traded player exception that's worth quite a bit. So those things we should be taking note of, because the Knicks may not be done in terms of The Brunson pursuit. Maybe there's some others, but I think it all depends on how they structure Brunson's contract should they get him. So a couple things that are worth watching there. Couple things worth watching, and let me pull up this coincidence tweet so I can be a bit more precise here, and then we're gonna get to our guest. So according to the coincidence, if the Knicks give Brunson a 4-year, $110 million deal, descending annually, and the Mavs take back Fournier in a sign and trade, it would give the Knicks a traded player exception of $18 million. Or clear almost $18 million in space. So, never know. Let's see how that goes. But I wanted to get a Mavs fan perspective on Jalen Brunson. Wanted to see how the Mavs faithful are feeling about this player and the deal. So joining me tonight, he is part of the Mavs Outsiders podcast. He goes by the name of Michael Bibbins, man. Mike, thanks for joining me today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. People introducing me by my name. I have to clarify that I cannot sing, so don't ask me to do any of that. And,
no.
I'm ready for free agency to start, man.
Man. Yeah, no Bell Bit DeVoe references for me, man. I can't sing worth a lick either, so don't worry about that. But on Jalen Brunson, he's a guy that you've watched now for the past 4 seasons. Breakout season this year, including in the playoffs, had some outstanding games. And looks like right now he's ready to cash in, man. What has been the general perspective from the Mavs faithful on the possibility that he's leaving?
It's actually been interesting. And, I feel, the podcast is the Mavs Outsiders. And I feel like an outsider in this situation because what I'm seeing from a lot of the Mavs fan base is a lot of anger, a lot of, entitlement, and how can he do this to us? How can he leave us? The idea of him leaving without doing a sign and trade. It's like, how would he leave us empty handed? And for me personally, I mean, he fulfilled his contractual obligations. He gave us his 4 years. We made him unrestricted at the end of the 4 years so he can do whatever he wants. And I personally, the idea of him leaving specifically for the Knicks, I like it for him. Overall, it sucks to lose a player and not get something back, especially somebody you watch grow for 4 years. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And, I have to hope that Nico has plans.
What do you think about the contract offer right now? 4 years, $110 million. What do you think about that deal that the Knicks are giving him? And how far would you go if you were Nico Harris, Mark Cuban, and the Mavs?
Yeah, so, that number is about where my number was, the 25, starting at 25 mil per year. And, I said I would go up to like 27 easily and just accept it. But when they started talking about 30 per year and stuff like that, I was like, I don't know if I can get that high on it. But 25 a year, you look at the contracts around the league. I think Terry Rozier makes 24 mil. That's a fair number for the production that he's given us.
It'd be the 13th highest paid point guard in the league right now. And, look, when I heard the number, obviously it sounds like a lot for a player of, his production. Who was primarily a backup and then ascended into starting role. But, he did have a good year this year, and he would be the 13th highest paid. Salary cap is going up, and so will market values every year. And so, to me, this is just a cost of doing business situation. It's a player that fills a position of need for you. And sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So, yes, it does sound kind of pricey, but we'll just have to see how it plays out. Brunson, the talent, this year he had a standout year, man. 16 points a game, 14 dimes. What do you attribute that to?
So one of the problems that I personally was tired of Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle was holding him back. I think he mentioned it in he had an interview with Duncan Robinson on Duncan Robinson's podcast where he mentioned, he started to doubt himself if he was that guy. And, I think part of trying to keep him here was Jason Kidd moving him into that starting lineup to show him that he is valued. And, Luka gets hurt last game of the season. We go into the Jazz series. Everybody thinks we're done. And Brunson goes and puts up a 40-piece on the Jazz. We get a 2-1 lead with Luka not on the court because of Jalen Brunson's performance. Like, it was nice to see him grow and show that he can step up when given the opportunity. I think his confidence playing with Luka started to grow as well due to that. Because I personally think he was holding himself back a lot of times, deferring more than he should. I think the reference I use is, when CJ McCollum was beside Dame, if CJ McCollum had the ball, it was his bucket to get. He wasn't looking for Dame. He wasn't worried about taking shots away from Dame. And that's the mentality I wanted Brunson to embrace. But it took him a while to get there.
What do you think is the strongest part of his game based on what you've seen watching Mavs games night in and night out?
His intelligence. Going back to even his Villanova days, that mentality, the leadership, knowing where guys are, knowing what to do, knowing how to manipulate a defense, those are his strengths. And he even talked about that in the Duncan Robinson interview. Was like, all these guys I played with at Villanova got drafted in front of me, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, I'm the one that made sure those guys ate. Like, I might not have been the guy taking over all the time, but I picked my spots well. And again, that's why I like the idea of him joining a team like the Knicks, where he can feed a RJ Barrett or Randall or whoever. And he doesn't have to be a 25-point per game guy to be the leader that a team needs.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that's one of the qualities that stand out to me. I always like Villanova players. Jay Wright is one of my favorite coaches in basketball. Nova team I support in college hoops. And you can't go wrong with Nova players, man. They're smart, as you said, the basketball IQ, the intelligence, the leadership qualities. You're looking at him, Mikal Bridges. You can go down the list. And for me, part of it is just this guy being a steady hand. Being careful with the ball, assist to turnover ratio of slightly over 3, just being a floor general and putting our guys in their spots. And I think the Knicks have lacked that for a number of years. Yes, Derrick Rose came in and he can very much be that guy, or could. I think Father Time is catching up with him. The bench role has always been more suitable for him, and the Knicks know that. Tom Thibodeau brought him here and kept him there until he absolutely needed him to launch him into that starting role. So I think that's where Rose is best suited. But bringing in Brunson, certainly a steady hand that can really help steady our offense. Because listen, we were rocking with Alec Burks for damn near 82 games, my man. So we were in dire straits to get all that figured out.
Yeah, and that's the thing that not only, especially Mavs fans, but I'm seeing people saying, like, what does he think he's going to accomplish there? They're not going to make the playoffs. And it's like, did y'all watch? I mean, I know they didn't watch. I don't even know why I'm asking the question. Alec Burks is not a point guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, y'all were in turmoil trying to figure out who should be the point guard. And by plugging Jalen Brunson into that, again, he doesn't have to be a 25-point per game guy to be a steadying force for that offense and a vocal leader. I think that leadership was an issue as well. Like, it was a struggle to see who should be stepping up, who should be making the calls. Randall was kind of going rogue there a few times. And I don't think that happens with Jalen Brunson at the helm. So again, he's the type, I wanted him to have his own team at some point. It sucks the way it looks like it's going down, but I personally, I love the move. And I think that the way I put it is, if he gets y'all to the playoffs next year, y'all win a couple games in the playoffs, like, that's a step up, and I know New York's gonna love him.
Listen, if he won us a couple games in the playoffs, he'd have a statue that the first half of the statue would already start getting built outside of Madison Square Garden. Other aspects of his game you gotta love. For me, it's the drive and finish. Basketball Index rated him an A- in terms of not just finishing talent, in terms of getting to the rim and shot quality when you get to the rim, but also middle game talent, the pull-ups, the floaters, excellent out of the mid-range, very, very efficient out of the mid-range, pick and roll ball handler. He has skills that we require, that Tom Thibodeau wants in his point guard. Maybe not the height, but certainly everything else.
And he's sturdy. Like, he's not Trae Young to where he's going to be physically bullied anytime he's in a mismatch. Like, he can hold his ground a little bit, more of a Kyle Lowry type. I mean, he's not quite as thick as Kyle Lowry, but he's
Yeah.
a little bit thicker and tougher. He's a tough guy. That's why he's one of the top scorers in the paint in the NBA, despite his stature. And again, that's something that's overlooked. I think he could be a 3-level scorer. And again, like you said, steadying the ship, running the pick and roll. He's good at when he's penetrating, seeing guys cutting off the baseline. And again, it's the little things that don't necessarily pop. Like he's not going to put up a bunch of highlights, but he's in the margins doing everything you want him to be doing.
The one thing, or not one thing, because I'm concerned about everything when it comes to the Knicks and getting players, right? But one thing I'm concerned about is how much was his productivity a result of, or a product of, or how much was his production a result of Jason Kidd's offense? Going small. Sometimes you had Kleber running at the 5. You had Dwight Powell. It was a lot of 5 outs. There's a lot of heavy ball screens. A lot of rotational plays, a lot of screens. How much do you think it was a product of Jason Kidd's offense why he was able to excel? Because the spacing was there.
Yeah. And that is something that people have brought up as a legitimate concern with going to New York is the spacing. Will he have the room to operate? Are him, Randall, and RJ going to be bumping into each other, getting in each other's way, trying to get to the basket? And I do think he probably needs a little bit more spacing. And I don't think y'all are done. With all the moves y'all have made, get a couple shooters in there. Get creative with the lineups and the rotations. I think his game will have to look a little bit different than it did in Dallas. Yeah. But again, he's a well-rounded player. He can adapt. And again, I think he showed that by moving into the starting lineup beside Luka.
Yeah, I think his shot creation ability certainly, makes me encouraged that he can adjust. But I think Tibbs has to adjust as well, man. We got Obi Toppin sitting there. Yes, it looks like we're going to bring back Mitchell Robinson, but we've got to explore opportunities to go small at times. I don't think you always have to go small, because I do think that ultimately playing with size will ultimately help you win games. But Tibbs has got to look to adjust, to open things up, not just for Brunson, but for RJ Barrett, for Julius Randle, for those guys who need space to operate as they're attacking. He's got to look to do that. So I'm just hoping that Brunson has some, enough wiggle in his game to operate with a little less spacing. And who knows, maybe it's his pops being the assistant coach that finally, talks Tibbs into making some adjustments here. We'll see how that plays out, man.
No, definitely. What was I going to say? Yeah, I agree with you. I like a team that's versatile, that can play big and play small at times. And again, I think that it's going to be interesting to see if Brunson does come to New York. It's going to be interesting to see the other moves that you guys make to round out the roster, to see if it shows signs that they're willing to run some of those spacing lineups, those 5 out, whatever type of lineups. Even if it's for just a couple stretches a game, it adds another dynamic to what y'all do. No question.
And we're talking to Michael Bibbins, one half of the Mavs Outsiders podcast. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP the franchise here. We are getting a Mavs fan perspective on this whole Brunson hoopla, the Brunson hype, and this contract. But the Heat are looming large, people. So let's see how that plays out. How'd you like his defense this year? That's another area of concern. He's a smaller guy, 6'1". Knicks perimeter defense has always been their Achilles heel. I'm a bit concerned about that with RJ didn't have such a good year defensively. Fournier, turnstile D. As a team, they didn't fare too badly. They actually finished around 11th in terms of defensive rating. But as, on-ball defender, it still, leaves me reason for concern.
Yeah, so, let me fix that. Jalen Brunson is not going to clamp anybody up. Like, let's make no mistake. He's not clamping anybody up. On ball, he can usually hold his ground. As I mentioned earlier, if he gets into a switch, he's not going to be immediately bullied under the basket. He's going to allow time for a guy like Mitchell Robinson to come over and clean up. My issue with him defensively is the off ball. He does get caught ball watching a good bit. And that's one of my biggest concerns is like he'll get lost. If you go through my Twitter feed, you'll find Jalen Brunson. Who was he guarding on this possession? because he'll get in the paint and you'll be like, I don't even know who his man is right now. But at the same time, he's also one of those guys that draws a lot of charges because he's so far away from his man sometimes that he's in the wrong place, but makes the right decision when other guys try to attack. So that is something that I think Thibodeau is probably going to have to beat him over the head with a little bit. But again, on ball, solid. It's that off the ball where you gotta tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, again, how the Knicks kind of balance this roster because, again, you're bringing in a guy in Brunson who doesn't offer positional versatility on the defensive side, and neither does Evan Fournier. And so this is why I'm looking at guys like a Quentin Grimes, guys like a Cam Reddish, guys who you hope can be able, are able to guard multiple positions out there where you can kind of hide Brunson on more stationary catch and shoot guys, and he's not kind of isolated, and guys are trying to exploit his size as far as being a mismatch on the defensive end. So definitely is worth watching, man. But again, overall, jump in assists from last year to this year is certainly encouraging. Yeah, 4 is not an extremely high amount for a point guard. You'll love to see that out there a bit more. But this offense was still Luka Doncic. Would you agree with that? That a lot of the reasons why his assist potential or assist numbers weren't as high was because it's still Luka's offense.
Right. Like when he's getting the ball, when him and Luka are both on the court, when he's getting the ball, it's usually because Luka has decided now he can have the ball. And so, yeah, like you said, the assist potential wasn't as high as it could be. I think he can easily get to 7.5 assists a game if he's the guy full time. I don't think he's a elite passer. Like I'm not seeing him, throwing passes like Luka or Trey, but he's a very good fundamental passer. He makes the right calls when guys are open. And if he doesn't make the pass, he's getting the bucket himself in those situations. So his playmaking, it could be better maybe, but him having 4 assists is a product of Luka having the ball, not his game.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, man, as we vastly approach the free agency kickoff, man. But Michael, I definitely appreciate the time. Hopefully we do some more of this, when the Knicks and the Mavs clash. Actually, before we wrap, because the Knicks and the Mavs, we got a lot of crossover, man. We got a lot of crossover. Brunson might be leaving, but I just heard you guys picked up Theo Pinson's option. So it seems like, you got your cheerleader in tow, and he was doing his best to give you guys W's in the playoffs. But you got a couple other old former Knicks on the team, man. You got Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock. You just turned Trey Burke packing. How about my man Frank Ntilikina, man? How did you feel about Frank this year?
I've been a Frank stan for a minute.
Okay,
I was halfway Knicks adjacent. Frank's been my guy. So like when we got him, I was hyped. Like everybody was tagging me and sending me DMs and stuff. Like we got your boy. So yeah, I was out there, like that's when I started to like really pay attention to the Knicks fan base and like the way that y'all embraced them and loved them. Like I love that. But yeah, it's the Dallas Mavericks is what people call us.
The Knicks, man.
And the games are always intense. I think we split this year, if I'm not mistaken. But y'all always give us trouble, man. It's
now we won both. We won both, man.
Home y'all win both this year?
Yeah. For some reason, we match up well with the Mavs.
Yeah, y'all give us a hard time. Mavs fans hate that too. Like no matter what, we lose to y'all, like it's a bad day at Mavs Twitter. So
yeah. Well, the Frank comment got you a lot of fans in the chat right now, man. So that means you got to come back and rock with us, man. So.
Well, most definitely.
All right, man. Definitely appreciate the time, and drop your Twitter handle for us so the people can follow you.
Yeah, it's easy. Bibbs Corner, just how it sounds. Baby Bibbs Corner. Yeah, definitely follow me. I'm very active. I like to interact with people. So holla at me. I'll definitely respond. All
right, let's get it going, man. Good luck on the season, on the off season, and we'll catch up, man. Good stuff.
No, thank you.
All right. That was Michael Bibbins of the Mavs Outsiders podcast. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Want to get the perspective from the other side. We want to see how the other side is feeling about this Jalen Brunson situation. And it is fluid right now, ladies and gentlemen. It is very fluid right now because, as I said, Chris Haynes of Yahoo Sports is reporting that the Miami Heat are a dark horse candidate. That gives me reason for concern. When Riley gets you in the room, you just don't know. I mean, he could sell Brunson on a lot of things. He could drop the rings on the table. He brings Jimmy in here. Jimmy brings the coffee machine. Try out the coffee. Look at what I did in the playoffs. We was moving and grooving. We just a little on demand. Maybe Bam comes through. Maybe, they bring in Alonzo. No state taxes. So Riley could say, hey, New York is offering you all this. We might not be able to reach that, but hey, no income tax here, pal. And go down to South Beach, get your thing. Oh, but the kids are telling me now South Beach isn't popping anymore. So maybe it's Wynwood, right? I try to get people out to South Beach. People told me, CP, South Beach ain't it no more. You old. It's Wynwood. Wynwood is where it's at. So maybe they sell them on Wynwood. Bring out a couple of, Wynwood, joints. And you just never know. J Cal in the chat. J Cal, salute. What's going on? Just never know, man. But I think at the end of the day, the Knicks will get their guy. So we'll see, man. We shall see. But as far as the free agency goes, tomorrow, if anything breaks on Brunson, I'll be on with my guys, Ian Beckley and SNY first. Our free agency show, KnicksFanTV free agency show, will kick off around either 9 or maybe a little bit earlier. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to work out some things right now. We'll figure out the timing on when that goes down. Friday, 12 o'clock, I'm back on SNY with Ian Begley, kind of recapping what went down on Thursday. And then Friday night, the debut, the franchise, NBA Radio, SiriusXM Channel 86. We'll be talking all NBA free agency, and that'll be from 7 o'clock on. So I need Knicks Nation to represent heavy. If you have your Sirius subscription, go ahead and call in 855 NBA Jump, or download a free trial or something, man. Holla at your boy. Call in and support. So busy 2 days ahead, and let's get after it. So that was the Brunson news. Now on to my guy Money Mitch, because Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report reported in today's article that Money Mitch, it is believed that Mitchell Robinson will return to New York on a 4-year deal that runs to nearly $60 million in total earnings. Now that's way more than the 4 years, 44. That was not way more, but it's a little bit more than the 4 years, 44 that was thrown out there before. So what do you guys think, man? Money Mitch, 4 years, 60. How do we feel about that? The Time Lord got 448. He got 12. Does Mitch get 15? Are you cool with that? And to add on to the report, because Mitch is the friend of the program, shameless plug, and he replied to our post on Instagram, because this is our post that you're watching here on the screen for those watching on YouTube. Mitch replied back with a praying hands emoji. Now, I'm not of the emoji generation. This is, Gen Z stuff. What does that mean for you? I think that means it's close. Mitch with the praying hand emoji replied back to our post. What does that say? I think he's going to stay. The price, I don't know. Obviously, it's going to be anywhere between 11 to 15. Is 15 a lot for a guy who is offensively limited? You can make the case. You can make the case. But at the same time, you could also make the case that, this is a guy that still deserves, that still needs to develop. And maybe with an improvement in talent, he can get there. Danielle Augusto says in the chat, can't stay healthy. That's another big one. How many games do we need to tab Mitch to miss this year? That's another one. Can he stay healthy? So they're going to give him 4 years, 15. He's got to prove that he can stay upright. And then another thing, as you heard me speaking to Michael on this topic, is how will they utilize Mitch? How will they utilize him in terms of we're seeing the way the game is trending these days? Yes, a lot of teams are going out and at times they are playing their traditional bigs, but they're also being flexible and going small. You know, the Milwaukee Bucks, yes, they'll rock with Brook Lopez, and I think they're very successful, but they can go to Portis at the 5. They can go with the Freak at the 5. You look at what the Celtics did. They'll rock with the Time Lord. Very impactful on both ends. I thought Robert Williams, not just as a rim protector, not just as a rim runner on the offensive side, I thought his passing was on display in the finals, and he looked pretty damn good. But even at times, they went small with Horford at the 5 or with Grant Williams and so on and so forth. You know, the Warriors, obviously, yeah, they'll rock with Looney, but they'll go even smaller. Finding our advantages on the offensive end. Do you go up all the way up to 15? And is he a guy that's going to warrant playing time in all situations? Are we going to plan to be a bit more versatile on the offense, go a little bit smaller, open things up for Brunson, for RJ, for Julius? Certainly a question that we want answered. So think about that. Think about that. Now, the last topic before we get to the call, salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. 2,500 on the check, and let's get this up to 1,000 likes. Let's get it going. The final topic tonight. Dejounte Murray out of San Antonio, headed to Atlanta. You know, Mark Stein, NBA Insider, had reported right before the trade dropped that the trade was imminent and that the Hawks, the Knicks, and the Timberwolves were the front runners. He goes to the Hawks. Hawks spending their 2025 first-round pick, 2027 first-round pick, as well as a unprotected pick swap. And I believe there's some more. Let me check this out real quick. But the primary factors in the deal were unprotected picks. Unprotected picks going to couple unprotected picks going to the Atlanta Hawks. Let me just pull it up here to be precise. Let's get Woj in here. According to Woj, Hawks are sending 2023 first-round pick unprotected, their own 2025 and 2027 first-round picks in the deal. Spurs also get a pick swap in 2026. I want to say that 2023 pick is protected because that is the pick that the Knicks sent the Hawks for Cam Reddish. So the Knicks not only lose out on Dejounte Murray, they also help the Hawks get Dejounte Murray by sending a lottery-protected pick from the Charlotte Hornets to the Hawks, and then the Hawks flipping that to the Spurs. So that 2023 first-round pick is protected. The 2025, 2027, and the 2026 pick swap are not. What do you think? What do you think? Did Leon drop the ball on this? You know, I thought the reactions were a bit mixed. Had a lot of fans that were tight at the price. The Knicks had 11 picks to work with. Why did they not get in on this? Is what people were asking. Now, the Hawks also sent Danilo Gallinari and his expiring contract to the Spurs. Spurs are expected to cut him. There are a number of playoff contenders that are expected to be interested. Boston was the first name that came out. J. Cal says, nope, wait for Spider. And that's where I was. See, I don't think that just because the Knicks have all these assets to play with and wheel and deal with, I don't think they're just going to just be, drunken sailors and just throw it out there. Because I still think that Leon is waiting for the Spider. And a lot of you guys are going to push back. We've been waiting on this guy. We've been waiting on this guy. We've been waiting on this guy. And that's all valid. I'm just telling you what I think. You guys don't like when I tell you my CAA predictions. But I'm just telling you what I think. I think they're going to hold on to a lot of these and try to land the spider in a year or two. And so that's why I'm sure they could have exceeded the offer. Maybe they could have put up 4 first-round picks. But I don't think Leon was ready to do that for Dejounte Murray. And yeah, I still have to question the fit. I love him as a player personally. As an individual player, I think he's extremely talented. I think he's a Dollar Tree Russell Westbrook who can get better. On-ball defense on point, passing ability on point, ability to get to the rim on point, finishing on point, the length. There's a lot to like about him. Wingspan, a lot to like about him. But I just didn't see Leon jumping in on that. I think he's going to hold off. Again, that's just my take. So what do you guys think? Give me a call, 657-383-1509. Did Leon drop the ball on Murray? Mitch's price is 15 too steep. Heat in on Brunson, man. What do you want to talk about? Hit me up on the KnicksFanTV Discord. Let's go to the phones and tap in. I got a lot of windows open. Hang tight. All right, let's go to the phones. Who's kicking us off? Area code 314. What's your name? Where you tapping in from?
Man, it's Jay from the Lowe, man.
Jay from the Lowe. What's good, my dude? How you feeling?
Hey, man, much love to the show, man. Hey, everybody hit that thumbs up. Yeah, hey, man, Leon dropped the ball, man. I've been tight since the draft, man. I ain't been wanting to tap in or anything, man. Like, I just feel like we've been getting hassled, man. You know how you feel like you got robbed or something?
Yeah.
Like we didn't come out of the draft with nothing, man. I just, you know what I'm saying? I'm really, like, upset at that because, you know, I really feel like we just got robbed, you know? So at the end of the day, you know, he got to turn in his key fob, man, and that's what it's looking like. It seems like a repeat from last year. You know, it's going to go down to, you know, Tibbs, you know, doing what he want to do. And, you know, but I'm just hoping for the best. I'm hoping for our young guys to play now. With the Brunson thing, you know, it would have been nice to have somebody back there with him. I'm still hoping we can do that, you know, with a Titus Jones or something like that. But I'm looking to possibly get more wing help. So, yeah. Hey, man, coming from the middle of the map, I'm tight, y'all. Like, I'm really am. Leon, get it together.
Hang in there, Jay, man. Hang in there. You know, hang in there. I just don't think they're just gonna be all in on this offseason. I don't see it. Maybe I could be wrong. I just don't see it. Part of me would like for them to keep it a little bit lean. Focus on the young guys. And again, let the chips fall where they may. I still think they need to try to get a top talent in this draft. You guys are mad about the Brunson price. You're mad that we don't have a star. You're mad that we're not going anywhere. How else are we going to get that? I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. Area code 678. Let's go to the A, 678-520. What's your name? Where you tapping in from?
Hey, what's up, CB? This is Chris Dollar, man. How you doing?
Chris, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm not well, man. I am not well. You know, this deal with Dejounte Murray was set up for the Knicks to go and do. But, of course, if we do this deal, we can't do the Brunson deal. That's why that deal didn't go through. His cap number would have eaten up the cap space to afford Jalen Brunson. Because I'm sure they tried to push Fournier on him. They didn't want no parts of Fournier because he has 2 more years left. We didn't have an expiring contract to give him that they wanted. And that was the end of that.
Yeah.
A neutral front office, and I'm trying to be polite, a neutral front office would have done that deal with the Hawks did. They'd have given them the 3 first-round picks, no protections, we have plenty of cap space, and we move on. But the position has already been promised to Brunson.
Yeah.
It's his. It's already been promised. And since we can't break that promise, we can't get Dejounte Murray. I am trying to hold back. Just like that last caller, I've been pissed off from the draft. But I'm trying to hold back until I see what this free agency brings. And already, on free agency eve, we see that they're not being neutral and doing what's best for the Knicks. They're doing what's best for the family instead of what's best for the Knicks. And that's gotten me heated right now.
Hey, listen, I think
I
that's
had to call it tonight, my brother.
Yeah, look, I think that's a very, very fair criticism. It is a very fair criticism. You know, and
I've been giving this front office a side eye for a while, man, but I've been trying to hold back. I've been seeing too many things that I don't like that's going on.
Yeah.
And I had to call tonight to let some of this out, man. I got to vent a little bit because it's pissing me off.
Yeah, that's why we here, man. This is why we here. Number one show for the fans, by the fans. Call in with your takes, man. I gotta get this focus right on my camera. That's why we're here. And I think, Chris, rate that call in the chat, man. If you feeling like Chris right now, rate that call in the chat. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. Either throw a garbage emoji or throw a fire emoji or somewhere in between. Bryheim in the chat says, call, I agree. Father Peace throwing 5s in there. Brandon throwing 5s. I think his concerns are legit. It's getting a little too chummy in the Garden right now, man. It's getting a little too frat housey right now. Leon brings his coach in. He brings his right-hand man in Wes. He's bringing Brunson in as the assistant coach. And here comes the son. Like I said, how do you hold that kid accountable on any mistakes, on any bad play? You know, of course they saying he's a very good kid, high character kid. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Not to cast any aspersions on him. But what I'm saying is, you know, this ain't Little League AAU. Like, how do you legitimately hold this guy accountable who's going to be making a ton load of money? Pops is an assistant coach. Head coach already has a relationship with him. Chris has a good point, man. Is it what's best for the team? Or is it what's best for Leon's team? Ari called in last week, said it was a shakedown on James Dolan. I can't say that's wrong. Knicks have been in this position before. I can't say that's wrong. I hope it is. But that's a fair point. Fair criticism. Comes with the territory. I didn't get to my guy E Crossover last night, so I'm going to put him on deck on the Discord. In the meantime, 860 area code, what's your name? Where you tapping in from?
Yo, what's going on, CP? You got me?
Yep. Who is this?
I'm Johnny. I'm from Connecticut. I'm probably in the minority here, but I'm not that mad at what the Knicks are doing.
Okay.
Not that mad. You know, I didn't really like the Brunson deal at first, and then I watched like a 20-minute highlight reel, and now I'm okay with it. But I think what I need to get off my chest is I think we need to focus more on moving one of Randall or Obi, because I don't think I can watch another season where Obi's getting 12 minutes a game.
Yeah.
I think that should be more of a focus to move one of them. I'd prefer they move Randall, but, you know, anything can happen, you know, but I think that needs to be a major focus this offseason, and not maybe getting all the flashy players, but, you know, getting rid of Obi or Randall, because I can't watch Randall take all of Obi's minutes anymore. It's got to stop. So
yeah, I got you.
That's all I got.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the call. I think of the two, neither. I think the player to watch is Fournier, as the coincidence said. You know, in a potential sign-in trade, maybe with Dallas or maybe elsewhere. I think it's Fournier. I think for Julius right now to try to trade that, you know, him being at a low value as he is right now with the number of years that he has on his contract, I think it will cost him. And I'm not so sure they want to do that. I think they'll try to see if he could bounce back. He didn't have a terrible season numbers-wise. But I think they'll see if he can try to bounce back, up his stock a little bit, get people talking positively about him, including myself, and then maybe we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes. My guy Lloyd Banks, the boy wonder, is in the building, drops a chat. He says, at this point, I'm exhausted with the whole building. Just let the young boys run. Build a team like small cities do and enjoy the journey. Salute to the show. Peace to the chat. Salute to Blue Hefner. Lloyd Banks in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Salute, salute, salute. Yeah, I'm with that, man. So let the young boys rock. See where it ends up. Hopefully, to me, hopefully it's in the lottery. I'm not, all that playing stuff is cool. We need a game changer still, folks. That's just the reality of this league. Need a game changer. You need a game changer. Hawks getting Murray. I spoke about the Hawks a couple years ago when they ran us out the gym. And I spoke on the fact that the team does have a lot of depth. But I didn't really see them competing for things. But I felt like the depth that they had will eventually be utilized to upgrade their talent and try to bring some game changes outside of Trey on that team. Now, this Murray deal is interesting. I think the two of them in the backcourt is going to be ferocious. I think it's going to open things up for their offense. It's going to allow Trey to play off ball, which many feel like, he has the ability to do at a major level. I think he's going to help their on-ball defense. Their dribble penetration is going to be excellent, which is going to open things up for guys like Herter, Bogdanovich, even Collins. It's going to open up that offense. Now they're talking about them potentially going after DeAndre Ayton, which could be pretty serious. Hawks trying to make moves, man. Hawks are gunning for it. They're not trying to be stuck in no man's land, so they're going for it. We'll see. We shall see. The Rhyme Animal Chuck D in here. So we got hip hop's royalty in here. The Rhyme Animal Chuck D drops a super chat in here. He says, postseason so far, Leon West running this thing like a millennial rap label. That's a fact. Shout out to Rhyme Animal Chuck D, man. Never misses a show. G Mark sends a Fight House super chat. Says, CP, I read somewhere that Brunson will ask the Knicks for a winning plan. Did you hear that too? No, I didn't hear that. Here's the winning plan. We'll give you $27 million to not mess things up. That sounds like a winning plan to me. We'll give you 27 million reasons why you should join the Knicks. Oh, and your father's here. Okay. Sign me up. No, I didn't hear anything about a winning plan. I mean, I'm sure they did pitch them on what their plan is. Yeah, everybody wants to win. But I think most importantly, what most of the reports are saying is that he wants the opportunity to be the floor general, the true floor general. So we'll see if that, and that's another reason why the Murray thing, even though it sounded great, it didn't really make much sense in the sense that, as Chris said, the position was promised to Brunson, and then bringing in another primary ball handler, I didn't see how that would have played out in their favor. I don't see it. $10 super chat from Russell Reed says, front office is desperate, uncharacteristic in its moves of late. They're telegraphing free agency smells like Fulton Street Market. Getting Brunson okay, but I'm concerned about spacing and IQ's development. Certainly reason for concern, but I think IQ, I think he's locked in at the sixth man right now. I think you're going to have him and D Rose again running and gunning that second unit. Sprinkling Grimes, sprinkling Cam, you're sprinkling Obi. Even though I think Cam will ultimately get traded. I think Cam's getting traded. But I think IQ's locked in. I think he's locked in that six-man slot. And so even when Rose is gone, I think that's IQ's spot, man. He doesn't have to start to progress and play development. I think IQ's role is solidified. All right, who else we got here? Let me get to my guy E Crossover on the Discord. E Crossover, let's go.
Yo, what's up, CP? How you doing?
Good, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. This is not looking good to me. I think Jalen Brunson's not worth that 27 mil. Let's keep it a buck, man. He's like a 20 mil player, and I think over exceeding their expectations for what he is. 27 mil is a second option player, 27 to 30 something mil. You guys already established that he's not the man.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna give him that type of money to be the second guy. I don't think he's that dude. Unless he's gonna average 20 points and give you 10 assists a game, then I'll shut the hell up. But with Dejounte Murray, they should have, the first priority, if they knew the Spurs were giving him away for picks and for a player, you should have already jumped on that before you even talked about Jalen Brunson. That dude right there is a Tibbs player. 6'4", long, can play defense, can handle the ball. He's not the greatest shooter, but that's the guy you prioritize with. That's the guard that you need. Jalen Brunson's miniature. And at the end of the day, if you're keeping Fournier, and if you start Fournier, that's a defensive liability right there. So how's that helping your team? And then if the Knicks want to get Jalen Brunson, because if he's talking to the Heat and he's discussing with the Mavs with a sign and trade, I'm hearing that, then the Knicks got to do a sign and trade. And I say trade Brunson for Julius. Julius is a Texas guy. I don't know if the Mavericks want to do that. I'm saying that Mavericks don't want to do that. I'm saying
they
Mavericks
can't
don't want to do it.
Based on Julius' salary, they can't. It would have to be Fournier in that type of sign and trade. They can't trade.
It would be that. Yeah. So the thing is like, what are you gonna do with that? And if I'm the Knicks, man, I will try to. If you sign Jalen Brunson, man, you got to get some defense in there, man, and put RJ at the 2 then, and put Fournier at the on the bench. And whatever you got to do, because this is not looking good. They had the opportunity to get Dejounte Murray and Jalen Brunson together, but let's see what happens, man. It's gonna be interesting. And Mitch, I say he's 12 to 13 mil, but 15 mil. If he catches in with that, then so be it. Hopefully he stays healthy. That's it.
All right.
And he plays well.
Appreciate the call. Crossover dropping some bars, man. Rate that call in the chat, man. I'm seeing some mixed reviews on that call. I want to know what the people think, man. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. Garbage emoji, fire emoji, anything in between, throw it in the chat. Let me know how you guys are feeling. A lot of frustration with not being aggressive on Murray. I definitely understand it. I definitely understand it. But this thing was sound like it was certainly being promised to Brunson first. Very interesting indeed. And then again, the whole bad blood between the Spurs and the Knicks over Marcus Morris. Did that tilt the scales a little bit? Like I said, I don't think that once they got Brunson, which I think they're going to get Brunson, I don't think they were going to be hyper aggressive to get Murray. I think that hyper-aggressive play for all these picks is for Spider Mitchell. That's what I think. But, we'll see. We shall see how that plays out. $50 super chat by my guy Jason Calcanis. Says, all of our deals are team-friendly, even Randall. Front office is being patient and can make moves. I'm at peace with it. Shout out to J. Cal. For the love. $10 super chat. Johnny Schwab says Jalen Brunson is a great fit. We still have Rose and Fournier and Randall who can be traded. The time to cash in is not now. We have to see what happens with Zion. And Brunson deal could be descending. All right. Somebody in chat said Knicks are all in. Y'all stuck on their connections. No, they're not all in, man. They're not all in. Okay, back to phone. Take a couple more. Tomorrow's going to be a long show as well. So we'll split this show up. Take a couple more before we wrap. Let's go to 646-271. What's your name? Where are you tapping in from?
Max from the Bronx. What's good, CP?
My man. Let's go.
Yo, I'll be honest with you, bro. I've been getting a little tight, but It's not for the reason y'all think. I thought Knicks fans were like the most intelligent fan base, but then I realized when they were hyping up Murray so much, I'm like, did they watch him play? Do they know he's like not a good shooter at all?
Yeah.
Like catch and shoot shooter, he's not good at. Do they know, like, I mean, do they watch him play? Like, literally watch him play?
You got to think about the
not worth
fit,
no
man.
three.
You got to think about the fit with RJ
Bro,
and Julius
and the
here.
fit,
You're
too.
jumping in the construction business.
Yo, bro, it's crazy. It's going to be a brick house and all that. First of all, right, Knicks are in the best. I'm not an anti-front office guy. I'm an anti-Tibbs guy. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
I think the front office is relatively smart. It's just Tibbs does be doing dumb stuff, you know, overplaying. Like, Burks is a good player, man. And you had him on one leg. He got to get construction on his foot now, and he's in Detroit now.
Facts.
It's Tibbs' fault. But let's get into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Jalen Brunson worth $10 million? Probably not. But I can assure you that I've seen people in this same chat hype up Terry Rozier, right, from Charlotte. And Terry Rozier got $90 million. Who is better, Jalen Brunson or Terry Rozier?
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, right? So y'all were hyping up Terry Rozier, and he had $90 million, bro. And I would not have paid Terry Rozier $90 million. I'm sorry, right? So we're in a win-win situation, right? If Jalen Brunson comes, cool. All right, we're not gonna get in the playoffs. The point is to win a championship. Who are we better than in the top 7 in the East? We're not better than nobody. So we need to build anyway, right?
Yep.
And if he doesn't come, say if Miami does some voodoo, I don't know how their cap space work. Because who's going to take Duncan Robinson $90 million? That's what Duncan Robinson signed for, right? Is Jalen Brunson better than Duncan Robinson? Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If he goes, we tank, bro. This draft is one of the most important drafts, period. So we're in a win-win situation. Knicks fans need to pull their panties up and stop acting old like soft and, oh, my God, the world's ending. And, yo, we're fine. Relax. If we bad, we're bad, bro. The point is to win a championship, dog.
Yeah.
All right? That's all I wanted to say, CP. I'm sorry. I know I came off aggressive, but I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it.
Listen. You've been a day one caller, Max. You know what I'm saying? When you got to go, I'm going to let you go, man. You know what I'm saying? And you got to go in, I'll let you go in. I'm seeing a lot of 5s. This could be the call. This could be the call of the night. People of the chat, good people of the chat, rate that call, man. Garbage emoji, fire emoji, or somewhere in between 1 to 5. I think Max from the Bronx is tearing it down. If this was Star Search, he would have went home. He would have went home the champion. Shout out to Ed McMahon. I'm dating myself for you youngsters out there. A lot of you guys are used to America's Got Talent and all this other stuff. You know, guys sitting there juggling on this. Come on, man. Star Search was the OG. J. Cal and Chuck know what I'm talking about. All my OGs in the chat. I'm dating myself. Star Search. Max from the Bronx. I think he's taking it home. Yeah, I think he's taking it home, man. Good job, Max. OG caller, man. He just came through, laid it down, and went about his way. Okay. If you guys are new in the chat, leave me a hashtag new. I'll shout you guys out. And for those of you watching at home, man, this is KnicksFanTV, #1 show for the fans by the fans, man. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. 3,200 to be exact on the check-in. So let's go. Off-season numbers are going through the roof. Last night we had 4,200 on the check-in. Unbelievable, man. Definitely appreciate everybody for rocking out with us. And I didn't get to all the super chats last night like I usually do. I'm going to get to them tonight because I got to salute the people that salute me. All right. Hold on. I want to shout out team hashtag new in here. Jenny Beloved. Welcome to the show. RC, man, you're always in here, but welcome to the show. Nate Madrano, how you feeling? Darnell C. Jeremy Maynard says the Gong Show. It's a little bit before my time, pal. A little bit before my time. But I know what you're talking about. Trotsky music. Showtime at the Apollo. I Need My Own Sandman. That was a classic. Used to stay up late. And sometimes the Apollo used to come on after Saturday Night Live. So it used to be like 1 o'clock. You know, you used to have to wait, you know, Kiki Shepard and all that. Kiki was fine. And then you'd always want the person to mess up so the Sandman could come up, get him up out of there. It's the good old days, man. Classic American television. Who else we got? Team hashtag new in there. Brandon Santos. How you feeling, Brandon? Shotgunna, what's good? Sean Boy, Abel, you always in here, but salute anyway. Donald Paola, what's good? K Chap, Darnell C, Michael Amos, welcome to the show, man. Welcome. Got a lot of people in there. JJ Shooter. Okay. Well, welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. All right, a couple more calls before we wrap. Let's go to Garment Artist on the Discord. Garment Artist, go ahead and unmute your mic.
BP, what's going on, bro?
What's your name? Where you tapping in from, man?
This the Garment Artist, bro. We here from Miami.
Let's go. 305. Stand up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. There's a lot of concerns, dog, that I got for our team, man. This isn't looking ideal for us right now. You know, I understand that we in a point guard situation where we got Brunson, who's almost guaranteed coming here, although I don't want to fully guarantee anything with the way that the Knicks are. However, I feel that there's a lot more holes in our team that we still haven't had answers for. Which,
no question.
You know, we got a wing position that I'm not sure what we're doing there. We got a very small sample size from Cam last year, a very small sample size from I wouldn't say small, but it's not a proven sample size from Grimes. You know, and while I do have confidence in him, we all know about those sophomore slumps, especially with our team. So it's always a question there. And then we about to hopefully re-sign, what's his name? Big man's.
Mitch.
Big Mitch. Yeah, we about to re-sign him, but we still don't have a backup center.
Yes.
Like, there's just too many holes in our team that I'm still, like, curious about what we're going to do in free agency that's really going to give us a direction. And the list of players that are out there don't really seem like they're going to push us any further than where we are. So those are really my concerns, man. I just want to kind of see what the future holds. But I'm keeping my head up. The best I could do.
Listen, all valid, my guy. You know, we got a lot of holes, and they're not all going to be filled this year, and a lot of question marks. And that comes with being a young team. It just comes with the territory of being a young team and not having a lot of guys that you could really say that you can rely on. You know, RJ has taken a step. Caller before had some concerns. How does Obi factor into this mix again with Julius being a mainstay in the starting lineup? I think Quickly is certainly taking a step. Quentin Grimes, as my man said, how will he fare in his sophomore year? Didn't finish the season well because of the knee injury. Hopefully he bounces back strong. I'll have an opportunity to take a look and see what he can do in Summer League. Gonna be looking forward to that. Headed out to Vegas for Summer League. So, look, this is very much a work in progress. You know, a lot of you guys got to temper your expectations with how this team is going to be looking going forward. This has to continue to be an evaluation period, which is what you're hoping that the trade of Alec Burks, the trade of Nerlens Noel, you're hoping that opens things up. You're hoping Jericho Sims is a fixture at that backup 5 spot. You're hoping Quickly, you know, I think Quickly's position is locked in. The 3 is going to be very pivotal for this team, especially if you add in Brunson. They've got to look to throw Fournier, even though he's our best shooter. They got to throw him in some sort of platoon with Reddish and Grimes. Like I said, I think they're going to trade Cam. But at least with Grimes, they've got to factor in. They've got to play major roles on this team. So, listen. It's gonna be a lot of moving parts, man. It's gonna be a lot of moving parts. So let's just see how it goes. One thing I would like to see them address, whether it's in the free agency or trade, is let's see if we can get a stretch 5 in here. You know, let's see if we can get a little stretch 5 in here. My guy Bobby Portis is out on the market. I don't think the Knicks will be able to afford him. He's looking for about $10 million a year, maybe a little more. Some of you guys like Mo Bamba. I like this kid from the Clippers, Hartenstein, man. I think he's gonna command a lot more than what we may be able to afford. But Hartenstein looks like a good player, man. You know, watching him play against the Knicks, watching a couple Clipper games, he could fill it up. Give you a little rim protection, can shoot it. Yeah, Hartenstein can play, man. I like this kid a lot. But I think he's headed for a bigger role elsewhere. Blockness Monster. This is Bleacher Report's top 10 centers. Some of you guys still holding out hope for Mo Bamba. Never know. Maybe that's a possibility. Some of you guys are still holding out hope for Mo Bamba. Let's see. was it like a Kelly Olynyk type? Stretch five. Capable, because like I said, you're going to have to factor in some injury time for Mitch. So that moves Sims up. Give me another guy in the backup slot, third string. Guy I'm not expecting to play on a nightly basis, but can come in and, our defense won't lapse. You know what I'm saying? Matt Access, the Mo Bamba stuff needs to stop. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I spoke to someone close to that situation. I was like, yo, what about Mo Bamba? He's like, listen, man, you don't want any parts of that. And he wouldn't go into detail. All I'll say is he's very close to that situation. Somebody in the chat was asking, what's my thoughts on Bradley Beal? I don't really have thoughts on Bradley Beal. I don't really think we have a shot, to be completely honest with you. That's up to Bradley Beal. Now, Worldwide West is his man. Worldwide West is supposedly trying to get him in here. But all indications are that he'll go back to the Wizards for a Supermax. So we'll see what happens there. How about James Harden opting out of his deal to negotiate a smaller deal for Philly? So the beard giving back. You like that? So he opts out of $47 million, and they said he's going to settle for something in the 30s, be a little bit generous, and give the Sixers an opportunity to build their team because they need help. They need a bench. They need a bench in the worst way. A lot of people think PJ Tucker goes there. He's trying to get a multi-year bag. That'll be good for Philly in the first year. They'll regret it after that. Philly needs some pieces to retool. They need some bench depth for sure. And they're saying Harden is in the gym early, so no turkey leg hut, no strip clubs. He's focused. I'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right, let me wrap up with one more call. I'm gonna play a little musical chairs here. Who we got? Who do we got? Last call. I got no screening here. Edgar's here, there, and everywhere. Seeing the world. Left me out here on the island. All right, let's go to area code 585. You are the anonymous closer. Make it good. What's your name? Where you calling in from?
Hey, what's going on, CP?
What's up?
Hello?
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, this Shotgunna. I'm from Rochester, New York, bro.
Oh, Shotgunna. Okay, you're not going to be the closer. I forgot about my guy, Gene. You're not going to be the closer.
Shout me out in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, man, big Knicks fan, man. Take 6 hours to drive to Madison Square Garden, man. I'm a big Knicks fan coming from upstate. Like, I agree with most of the fans, man. I believe we're in big trouble, man. Like I say, man, I don't get why a lot of Knicks fans underestimate what's going on Twitter. I don't know if they see that IQ is hanging out with Spider. Yeah. I don't know why the Knicks is underestimating the recruitment of that. That is big. Basically, they never been friends. All of a sudden, they hanging out. He's at his camp with him. They was caught at dinner together. To me, that's a sign of recruitment. I think it's an insult to bring Jalen Brunson in, and he's clearly trying to be the starting point guard. I think that's big. I don't know why we putting our focus on going on Jalen Brunson. This is clearly a Rick Brunson, Leon Rose relationship. This has nothing to do with basketball. I get what you're saying about he coming to help the offense, but I think he would definitely not make RJ progress because he is a get to the basket type of person. But we got to think, like, that's not scaring Eric Spoelstra. That's not scaring Boston. Like, they will lock him down. So I don't get this move. It's clearly a relationship. But salute to you, man. And I appreciate you, man. And I'm a big fan of the show, and I'll try to call in often.
Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate
the
call. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think, yes, I think Brunson will have more of a role in the offense, but I don't think it's going to be his team, his offense. No, I think this team still needs to go through R.J. Barrett. He should be a factor to be the best player on the team. I still think Julius takes the crown, but RJ, you hope for the future success of this team that he does take that leap. Not to be the number one guy for them to contend, but to ascend to be the best player on this team. And then you can, bring in someone a little bit better. You want to see RJ take the reins. I think he will. And I think the offense will still feature him in a major way. I don't think they're just going to rest it in Brunson's hands. No, I don't think so. I don't see that. And remember the report that Begley came out say that the Knicks don't see him as being any type of franchise savior, this, that, and the third. They're putting it out there already to temper your expectations for this guy. They're putting it out there like that. So, I wouldn't be super concerned on that point. I think it still is RJ's squad. Zach Lowe on the Dejounte Murray deal says teams are very, very hesitant to do this, meaning the amount of draft capital that the Hawks gave up, especially unprotected. He said they often fight for even one top one protection. The Charlotte pick is middling lotto protected, which is the one that the Knicks gave to the Hawks to get Cam. But the rest is about as much draft equity, maybe more, as San Antonio could have ever anticipated getting. Even pushing to 2025, 2027 matters. He said, this doesn't mean I love, hate, dislike whatever the trade did for either team. Just pointing out the level of draft equity San Antonio got here is pretty hefty. We'll have more on that in the final deal. So what Lowe's saying is, it's a big deal. It's a big deal what the Hawks gave up. But they needed to. Because they're a team that has players ready to win right now. They're trying to contend in the East. They saw what the hell Celtics are looking like. They see what Boston is looking like. There's rumors that the Nets might be trying to get DeAndre Ayton. So, like I said, I didn't expect the Knicks to get that aggressive with the draft capital. I don't know what they offered, but I didn't expect them to get that aggressive with Dejounte Murray. Because I think they're going to hold out on a type of deal like that for Spider. Yeah, that's how I feel. All right, we're going to wrap up with the closer for the night. Almost forgot about my guy, but better off that he's a closer. My guy, Gene, from the Bay Area. Gene, how you feeling?
CP, what up, man?
How you feeling, bro?
Man, I since we were talking about Apollo, and I'm worried that you may give me like the big old hook for being a Debbie Downer right now. But I gotta do it because your man Leon Rose is attending Tony Robbins conferences right now because that boy is walking on fire. He's on thin ice because you look at the last moves that he's made, like, when he first came on, hiring his best friend Tibbs. The Tibbs promises that he's going to change, and he's the same. Brings in 17 power forwards. Lets Tibbs continue to start Peyton after he's been trashed, and then finally gets them to switch in the playoffs when it's too late to get chemistry with the starters. Like brings in Evan, brings in Kemba. Says they're all team-friendly deals, but we still got to attach Pitts to get rid of them. We got to be good to be team-friendly, by the way. So a lot of stuff that he's done giving away the picks, the pick for this year, that just stings. So a lot of stuff that he's done hasn't worked. So the question becomes, like, are we shooting for the middle of the lane, or are we trying to get into the lottery, get better, try to take our time, develop our youth? I still get the question of, like, what are we doing? Like, I get Brunson, $27 million. I mean, that's a little too much for my blood, but cool, he's a good player. We're going to be better, but how much better are we going to be? So all I'm saying is, like, I'm not trying to be 100% out because we're going to know by the end of this season whether, like he's going to fall through the ice or not. But it's getting shaky for your boy, Leon Rose, man. He's either going to look like a genius or he's going to look like another front office failure. So, I'm stressed out a little bit because I'm not certain these are great moves. And, the Mitch thing, I like all of these players, but, like, I don't know about the deals, the multi-year. Like, it's just this doesn't look great. He may look like a genius, but it's just right now it just don't look great.
Yeah, no question, man. And like I said, the concerns are all there. I still got concerns. You know, I've had concerns from draft night in terms of trading the pick, you know, what the plan is moving forward and you know, being scared that we're headed for no man's land. But again, I still think that, yes, even though they are sitting on these assets, I still think that they're still going to be patient in terms of how they deploy it. Now, as you said, will he have much time left? Because if this thing gets off to a rocky start, Tibbs will be the first head to drop. And I do think this regime will get one more coach, and that'll likely be Johnny Bryant. So I think there's still, you know, yes, you don't want to be stuck in no man's land, but we still have to address the position of need, which was the point. And you have a young team here of young players. Yes, they all have to be evaluated, which I still think they will do next season. But you still want to build or start to build a complementary roster where iron sharpens iron and players can help each other get better. And that's what you're hoping a Brunson acquisition can do, not just by himself, but in terms of how he facilitates, how he playmakes, how he keeps the offense moving, how he generates offense himself. How does that impact the team? I still think that that's important. So I think the idea is, or at least my idea would be, yeah, you get him in here and you run with the youth movement and you just let the chips fall where they may. And hopefully they are back in the lottery with their own pick and being able to pull out. Well, you guys tell me it's a big draft, 2023. Okay, so hopefully they're in there with a respectable pick to hopefully pull out a game changer. Or try to once again deploy the assets that they just picked up to move up and try to get that guy or go get an established player. And that's that with that. Andrew H. in the chat said, CP, you said you would be on Thursday. This unscheduled show is on tonight. What do you know? Listen, this is the off season, man. When news drops, when the rumors drop, we go live. This is the deal, Andrew. You're not new to this, man. So yeah, it's still we're still on schedule for Thursday and Friday. But when things drop, like the Mitch stuff, like the Murray news, we come on and talk about it. You got a lot of people that were disappointed in not going after Murray and being aggressive. You know, so people want to get in and react. This is the show to do it. Number one show for the fans by the fans for a reason. We allow the fans to come on and get their points across. You know, my guy Chris Dada came on. He was very upset, man. You know, he was very upset. He's down in Atlanta. Who's he gonna call in to vent with? He calls ESPN Radio. He's got to wait for the commercials. He's got to wait to get through. He's got busy signals. All of that. And call my show. Most of the time, you're gonna get through. Number one show for the fans by the fans. All right, so like I said, tomorrow, once news breaks, I'll be on eventually with SNYD and Begley. We will have our own KnicksFanTV NBA free agency show where we'll go in on everything. Tomorrow night, somewhere between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Just look out for the notification. That's why you turn on your notification bell. And then Friday, I'll be on with Ian Begley at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, recapping everything that happened on Thursday. Friday night, SiriusXM, Channel 86, 7 p.m., CP the Franchise. Let's get it going. All right, let me salute some of these super chats, as I said I would. We have an AED super chat from Ara Wawad. Says, watching you from Dubai. Great show, man. Let's go. So we got an AED. What's the Dubai currency called? And we got that tonight. We are worldwide, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we do. We got a guy tapping in from Dubai right now. Atlanta. My guy Jay called in from St. Louis. Rocking. We are rocking heavy, man. We are rocking heavy. All right, let me salute the rest of that come in. Salute to my guy from the... All right, Tramel White says, what's the Tibbs issue with Cam? Weird not to like a guy even when he gets here. Is it more to the story? Burke's gone and still shopping Cam. Yeah, they've been shopping Cam since last year. You know, it's interesting. It's just an indication that the front office and Tibbs aren't on the same page with the Cam situation. I think the front office wanted to take a shot in the dark. I don't think Tibbs really believes in him much. I think he's going to get traded, but I'd still like to see them, see what they have in him. You know, I think he still has some stuff there. Yeah, I don't want to, dish on is there more to the story with the kid, because I don't know him. He certainly heard things, but I'm not just gonna throw that out there because it's just through like second and third hand, so that wouldn't be right. So all I'll say is I hope it works out. Joshua Cruz, $5 Super Chat says, bro, I just joined, but how you feeling about the whole Brunson thing? 100 mil? What? I don't think he's a cornerstone player. Josh, you just got to rewind. Go to last night's show, go to the night show, just rewind. We go in. Boxing Trav, what's good? Any word on Levine? No, I haven't heard anything. I don't think they'll be in on him. I think Chicago will have an inside track. But we'll see what happens after that. I haven't heard anything on the Levine front. It doesn't mean, it's not possible, but I wouldn't think so. I think Chicago will get him. Luck Charm 22 says, if we send Fournier to Dallas, start Cam, we good. Mr. William 1072 says 11 first and 11 seconds. You split that in half and add two players, and you have a Danny Ainge ask for the Spider. Just my thought. Yeah, I think they're going to go for it eventually. Johnny Swab says an overpay for Brunson this season on the descending deal will help us, and it will also forces Tibbs to play the kids. This is what we wanted. Carlos Ruiz, 401 Providence. Salute to Providence, strong Rhode Island. Knicks fans never satisfied. We got our young guns running it back with a solid point guard addition. Move the team-friendly contracts. Yeah, this is what we did. But look, I think the frustration is, look, we're running out of patience, man. Fan base is running out of patience. People say I've been patient long enough. They want to see moves. They want to see if we're going to make a move, go for an all-star, go for a superstar. This is where the frustration with not getting Dejounte Murray lies. In the grand scheme of things, are they doing badly? I wouldn't necessarily say that, but it's taken a long time to improve this team. Mr. William, okay, Johnny Schwab, J. Cal got that. Papa Left in the building says if the Knicks were a rap label, they would be Atlantic. Sign B.O.B. and Trop Lupe. Pro Cannon Gaming says Beal getting Supermax, he ain't moving, let it go. Yeah. Johnny Schwab again says Jalen Brunson is a great fit. I got that one. John Kim says our bench has more talent than the starters, ex-RJ. Mark Ing, what do you think about Brunson meeting the Heat? I think it's, I think it's just a matter of procedure. Not trying to put the Knicks in any tampering schemes, charges, which you never know with Riley. If he gets a meeting, you never know. He can sell. Sniper Pack reviews. Got that. Brandon Guess says with Brunson, RJ, and Julius attack in the paint, we really need a shooter for spacing. I hope we keep Fournier at least until the deadline. He might feast. That's fair. Joe Duggan says the Hawks paid Anthony Davis price for Murray, bro. The Knicks doing that would have been absurd. What are we talking about here, man? We need those picks. T-Bone, he says, CP now convince your CAA. You're even trying to save them tampering fine with this Pat Riley nonsense. Hey, whatever I can do, man. Whatever I can do. Chuck D, Rhyme Animal, Chuck D, $10 Super Chat says, we had to pay the piper for the void needed for the past 15 years. We lost 15 games on Burks Randall, positionless foolishness with bringing the ball up. Brunson allows D Rose to cornerback in a backup role. The Smoking Knicks says Jalen Brunson is not worth the max. Brandon Lee, where do you think D Rose would fit in? Right off the bench, right where he's been. Pistol Pete 79 says, I think he's going to help Randall a lot. Tony Banks, $20 super chat, says, hell no, $27 million. Stop it, son. He also says, I don't like Brunson. I'm all in on quickly. Ari says, I wish my godfather gave me $110 million. Shane Rossi says, put a tomato or a fire in the chat for Brunson. Troy Davis says, Brunson is worth the money. Best point guard we had since Starberry. He's a 3-level scorer with heart. My only concern is Tibbs' lack of creativity. Tibbs got to go. Justin Plunkett says we got 2 seconds back in the deal. No, we didn't get 2 seconds back in the deal with Detroit for Burks and Noel. We paid that to get them off the books. Emil Beaumont sources, why are people so upset about Brunson? Obviously, you would prefer Murray, but Brunson is the free agent. Murray can't be your home run trade. You need a game changer. Richard Baptiste has signed and trade with Dallas for Brunson 30 minutes into free agency. Shout out to African Net TV. Shout out to Haha. It says, from a Warriors fan, we saw the Brunson, but he never stopped fighting. You can't punk him. He has a lot of heart and is a true leader. Shout out to Elite. He says, we didn't just overpay a mediocre player. We traded pick 11, Kemba, Noel, Burks away for the ability to overpay a mediocre player. My brain hurts. Shout out Mingo Kersey. Elite, appreciate it. Benny Thakara says, start Reddish at the 3, Barrett at the 2, Fournier off the bench, please. CL Kenrick, appreciate it. Fudge Shuffle TV says, cats are forgetting that JB was coached by Jason Kidd. Lucky Sean, appreciate it. He says, Burks jersey going up on MSG, KFTV. Owen A says, Burks and Noel were great Knicks, but have excess shooting guards and centers. We are paying premium for Brunson, but getting a point guard in number one is the number one need. We'll be in the playoffs next year. Great show, CP. Yeah, look, 2 years ago, they were very significant contributors to the 4th seed and the Knicks, making the playoffs, and salute Noel. He is the butt of a lot of jokes on this show, especially by me. But 2 years ago, he certainly did his thing, which is how he got that contract, and he stood tall in Mitch's absence, and he did put his body on the line. All jokes aside, he did fight hard, but just can't stay healthy, can't catch a cold, and we wish him well in Detroit. All right. Arrow Wawad says $74.99 is in Dubai. They're called dirhams. All right. So I said it twice, different ways, just in case my pronunciation was way off and way too American. So we'll see. Dirhams. All right. Logic Sir, $5 super chat says, so if Brunson plays well this year, are we gonna pretend it's because we got Jalen Brunson and not Tibbs actually playing the youth? Hey, it's a team game, man. We'll have to see. Jetnikov Co. Australian Super Chat says, I miss some games, but I always tune in to watch CP and KnicksFanTV. Now get a bunch of dogs and stop wasting every season. Cedric Lucas, appreciate it. SM Directors Inc. says, we can't pick and choose. We needed a point guard and got rid of somewhat dead weight. I hope Brunson is who the Knicks think he is, that playoff guy. He got paid. Logic Sir says, IQ and Deuce need minutes. Another person blocking the youth. No, I think IQ will be fine. I think Deuce won't. Kane Marco says, I really hope this will be a sign and trade with Julius. Send him home and open up the floor for Brunson, RJ, Quick, and Obi. Julius will not be able to be traded in this Brunson deal. Latinx Travel Club says, case of nepotism. Shout out HB777. Michael Parker says, salute Knicks Nation, let's go. Let's not overpay. What else we got in there? And Dr. Blocktopus says, man, I don't want to overpay for Brunson, but we're gonna. And that's it, man. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for you, boy. Remember that the show is presented by Manscaped, fellas. Go to manscaped.com, promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. And you guys know the schedule by now. Free agency. To keep it locked here. SNY, KnicksFanTV, NBA Radio, Thursday, Friday. We are locked in. Support your boy. Definitely appreciate you rocking with me, man. Always appreciate it. Also, remember that the show is available in audio podcast format. Never need a reason to miss it. So you can catch it on all the major podcast platforms. If you're an Apple podcast listener, leave us a review. Goes a long way. Same thing on Spotify, man. These are just ways that you can always continue to support us. And trust me, it works. All right? It definitely works. So hitting that like button, hit the subscribe button, sharing these videos, all that stuff works. If you love the show, you want to support the show, continue to do so. And we're going to continue to give it right back. #1 show for the fans by the fans. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.